Dear God, I got one question. I need to know, do revolutionaries go to heaven? And if so, may their legacies last forever and their seeds grow. Tell them that we love them so and never let them die slow. It's like we cursed to be born black. We was kings and queens, now look where we at. I know it won't be long before we take it back. I just hope I live long enough to see it happen, and that's a fact. Cause one thing when you pro-black, you might love your people, but they may not love you back. For more than 400 years, we've been under attack. We survived slavery and then they gave us crack. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? 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 I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope so. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about ce and ce. So the first ce that we're going to look at is spelled CE. It means this. So it's called a demonstrative adjective, adjectif démonstratif, or it's used to point out in particular a person or a thing. So for example, if I say this pen, ce stylo, and this boy, ce garçon. So you use ce as a demonstrative adjective or to point out a thing or a person. Okay, so for the second ce that we're looking at, it's se. It means his, and it's the personal pronoun third person. So for example, he wakes up every morning at 6 a.m. Okay? Il se lève tous les matins à 6 heures. Bonjour. Aujourd'hui, c'est la fête des pères aux États-Unis et je voudrais souhaiter à tous les pères un très joyeux fête des pères. Happy Father's Day. Aujourd'hui, nous allons parler de l'imparfait de l'indicatif et du passé composé. Alors, quand est-ce qu'on utilise l'imparfait? On utilise l'imparfait pour exprimer des habitudes passées. Par exemple, quand j'étais jeune, je jouais au piano. When I was young, I was playing the piano. On utilise le passé composé pour raconter un événement. Par exemple, il y a quelque temps que j'ai joué au piano. It's been a while since I played the piano. Alors, pour récapituler, on utilise l'imparfait pour exprimer des habitudes passées. On utilise le passé composé pour raconter un événement. So, use imparfait to express past habits and use passé composé to recall a memory. Today we're studying days of the week, jours de la semaine. So let's get started. Sunday, dimanche, dimanche. Monday, lundi. Tuesday, mardi. Wednesday, mercredi. Thursday, jeudi. Friday, vendredi. Saturday, samedi. Okay? Dimanche, lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi. So if you wanted to say today is Sunday, aujourd'hui, nous sommes dimanche. Or, aujourd'hui, nous sommes samedi. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes lundi. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes mercredi. Okay? If you wanted to say tomorrow is, demain, c'est lundi. Tomorrow is Monday, for example. Demain, c'est mardi. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Demain, c'est mardi.
Peace and blessings, family. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Taye Speaks. Today we have a very, very special guest. Very, very beautiful, very educated. Bonjour, Jolie.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Tell the people who you are. What's your name? Where you from?
Sure. So my name is Théma Angol. I was born and raised in Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe is in the southern part of the Caribbean. The main language is French, so I do speak French fluently. Guadeloupe was colonized in 1674 by the French. And so Guadeloupe itself is made up of 2 islands. So it's a shape of a butterfly. So if you look at the map of Guadeloupe, you can tell it's kind of shaped like a butterfly. The one part is called Basse-Terre, which means lower earth. And the other part is called Grande-Terre, meaning big earth. Okay? So Basse-Terre is mostly, there's a lot of beautiful beaches all over Guadeloupe as a whole. But Basse-Terre itself has more of your countryside, you know what I mean? The mountains, the waterfalls, the hot springs, and of course, beautiful beaches. And then Grande-Terre, the Grande-Terre side is more where you'll find your high rises, more of a city life. There's also a little bit of countryside, but it's mostly, you know, you're in the city, you know, you're on the market, you're seeing all the people. So Grande-Terre is more like that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that breakdown. It sounds like a very beautiful place. I'm gonna have to go there one day and check it out.
Yes, it is. Like most island in the Caribbean.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so my next question is, what is the Afrikan Voice?
So Afrikan Voice is a show that I started on YouTube as a result of when I was younger. I had a neighbor in particular, an older woman that lived next door to us, and I would go to her a lot because she always had a lot of change laying around her house. So I would go and ask for change to buy candy. That's mainly why we go there. And so she would always give me money to buy candy, and then I would sit with her. She was always washing clothes in her kitchen. She washed clothes by hand. That's also how we grew up, you know, washing clothes, because we didn't have our own washing machine at the time. So I used to go to her house and hang out and talk with her. She used to tell me a lot of stories about, you know, herself and when she was younger, you know, as a young child. So I used to sit there and listen to her, and I found that I gravitate to the elderly in particular because they always have the wisdom. I consider them to have the wisdom. If I was going through something, I could talk to them about it, and they could help me, you know, with that, because of course they would have gone through, you know, the process, you know, because they're older. So that's kind of how I viewed the elderly people. So the show itself is a recreation, I guess I would say, or trying to recreate that space that I had when I was younger, when I was talking to, you know, different people, and having a Gemini trait. You know, I like to be mentally stimulated. I like to have conversation with people. In particular, I like the subject of purpose. You know, like purpose. I'm really big on purpose, knowing somebody's purpose and like how they attained, you know, how they arrived to it, how they discovered it. You know, that topic is really fascinating to me. So that's something that that's a topic that I enjoy talking about, you know, in particular. So the show Afrikan Voice is basically me recreating that time period when I was younger.
Wow, that's amazing. Man, the elders are definitely important, definitely needed, definitely respected. I can relate because recently this past year I released my first book, and I had the opportunity to sit down with a lot of elders.
I read your book. I did read your book.
Yeah, thank you again. I truly appreciate that. But they provided me with so much wisdom and knowledge and information. You know, a lot of people, they're missing out, you know, if they don't get the opportunity to sit down with the elders and talk to them. Be life-changing.
Yeah, because these days it's like people tend, not everybody, but people tend to frown on the elderly, like they don't know anything, they don't have any knowledge, but it's like they've been somewhere, you know what I mean? They came before us, so they have a lot of experience about things, you know, so we can learn a lot from them.
Most definitely. Now, how